What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Changing things up a little bit. Um, what we're going to talk about today is what happens when we fall off. So, all of us really understand that anytime we go to any sort of social event, um, food's involved, alcohol's involved, other things are involved, and quite frankly, it can be quite difficult to go through the social aspect and not have it revolve around food or alcohol or any of those things. Um, so I'm going to share something with you. I don't talk about this very openly with most people. Um, but in 2006, I made the choice to stop drinking alcohol. Um, with that being said, yeah, it's awesome. It was my choice. It was for the better of my health, amongst other things. However, I'm not going to talk about 2006. I'm going to talk about 2010. In 2010, I went to a social gathering for a going away party for a coworker. Um, so if anybody knows me, knows that I like beer. I always have. Every once in a while, I'll partake in a non-alcoholic beverage or non-alcoholic beer. So anyway, so I go to the gathering and I ordered a non-alcoholic beer, which was I was given an alcoholic beer. Um, and if you've ever been out with me in either when I, before or after, you know that one beer takes me about two sips. So basically, I drank half a beer. I realized what it was, and I was left with a pretty tremendous choice at that point, huh? Um, I either was going to say screw it and let's go back, or I understood that it was a mistake. It was a mistake on somebody else's part, not even my own. So it can't be considered a relapse, in my opinion, um, or anything of that matter. So I made the choice to hand the beer off to one of my friends at the time, and I said, "This is an alcoholic beer." And from then on forward, I've yet to drink an alcoholic beverage. So that's really the moral, the topic of the story today is when we fall off, we all give in to temptation in one way, shape, or form. Doesn't always have to be with food, can be with other things in life. But what's the first thing that most people say is, I'll start Monday morning. Could be Wednesday. Could be Thursday. Could be Tuesday. Hey, could be Sunday night. So that really is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the temptations and why we get the way we get. Um, I know we've talked about New Year's resolutioners and how they go 100, and that's partial to the reason why they fail, in my opinion. Sticking to a diet, sticking to a plan, isn't always the easiest thing in the world. I had a conversation today that, it gets easier as time goes on. Yes, it does. Um, I also understand that not everybody has the switch that I do. I can shut out the world. Um, I can shut out, and I can eat the same thing. I can live the same exact day every day if I had to. But we have to understand that as we grow as a person, I keep talking about this mental structure. You have to be strong mentally, no matter what. Understand that there's always something that could be worse. Um, there's people are going through things. I always explain to my students that please don't ever judge anybody by the choices that they make because you don't know where that person woke up. Um, we always talk about, I talk about school a lot, obviously, because I'm a teacher, but so I have this discussion normally with my class once a year that for some people, school is a burden. For other people, school is their outlet. Kind of like, the gym for me is my outlet. That's where I let out my aggression. That's where I'm able to forget about everything for that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. I'm able to shut out life. So for some people, we don't know where they woke up. It could be a coworker, it could be whatever. But understanding that we don't know where that person woke up, we don't know what that person is going through at home. So don't judge somebody right away by what just you are visually seeing. You know, I had a student who lived out of his car in the parking lot of the high school a few years back, and nobody knew. Okay, he would go, his grandma and grandpa lived about 30 minutes away, and he would go there once a week, but for the most part, he lived out of his car. So school was his place of zen or solace, whatever you want to call it. But for somebody like that, he showed that he was really mentally strong. Because, I mean, it's a kid in high school. We're talking 17, 18 years old. And he's doing really, really well for himself now. I think he's a sheet metal worker. You know, I think he's got a place of his own, last I heard. But, I mean, I haven't heard probably 3, 4, 5 years. Well, 4 years now. But that's the whole part is as we grow as a person, we continually have to grow. We continually have to learn. Okay? So, once we fall off and we eat that garbage meal, your immediate response is remorse, right? If you're at a party, you know, you immediately feel bad about the situation. I said yesterday, don't dwell on the past. Forget it. It's done. It's over with. You have to move forward. We have terrible workouts. We have terrible days. We have terrible things that happen at home. But you can't dwell on those. You have to move forward and move to the future and make the future better. Mistakes are one of the best things in the world. People always ask why I don't hold my students' hands when it comes to the building process. Because you're going to be more apt to learn something if you make the mistake rather than I fix the mistake before you make it. So I let people make those mistakes and they learn through those trials and tribulations. So same thing has to go on with anything in life. So when you fall off, don't say I'm going to start Monday. Start right then, start right there, start as soon as you wake up. It's a brand new day. You will open your eyes. That's all that you can ask for. You may not be happy with your job. You may not be happy in other aspects of your life. But please, understood that there's other people who have it worse. Whether you think so or not, there are other people who have it worse. And pick up, dust yourself off, start the next day, and move forward. I can't stress enough moving forward. Too many people, they fall back and they just revert. There's no point in reverting because you're not growing as a person. You need to fall off, get up, get back on the bike, and go. I'm going to say it again. You don't ever fail unless you quit. I don't care if you've put in 2 months of work, fell off for 2 weeks, gained everything back. You get up, you dust off, you move forward, you get back to where you were, and then keep moving forward from there. It's going to happen. You're going to fall off. So you need to just keep moving. If you move forward, you're going to create and you're going to have great things happen. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow.